Good morning, everybody. Or, yeah, it's still the morning here for me. Today's Wednesday, and I thought I would go ahead and record for y'all the review for Miss Saunders' math lesson that was yesterday for mean, median, mode, and range. My glasses have glare on them, sorry. But I don't want to be like this. Anyways, so I'm going to do a few practice problems with y'all just to refresh you and for you to refer back to in case you get stumped a little bit. And before I get started, I'm going to start writing down what numbers I picked out. I wrote them down over here on my phone. Before we get like real into it, this may have seemed like a fairly easy lesson for y'all, and I agree, it was, but the foundation of doing mean, median, mode, and range you will use for like ever. I even used stuff like this when I was in college, and not just in my how to teach math class. I used it even in like English and history classes and stuff. So this foundation stuff's important, so stick around so you can get your review. Okay, here's the set of numbers that I have got here. I'm partially out of the way. Okay, here are the set of numbers we've got. We need to do, I'm going to kind of box these to separate it. We need to do mean, and not like, oh, you're so mean. Mean is another word, another math word for average. And we need to do median. Median, which is like medium, like in the middle. Then we need to do the mode, which is the number repeated most frequently. And we need to do the range, which is the gap between our smallest number and biggest number in our data set. And that's what these numbers are, our set of data. Okay, to start with the mean, well, actually, before we start anything, when you have a number set like this, you always want to arrange them from smallest to largest, least to greatest. So I'm going to do that now. I'm not doing anything but rearranging. So I've got 2, 5, I'm going to kind of cross them out as I go. 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. Yes, the 8s are there twice. That's okay. Write down every number they give you. Don't just go, oh, I already wrote down 8. I'll cross out the both of them. No, you need them both. Okay, so now we've got our numbers in least to greatest order, smallest to largest. And we're going to calculate the mean. When you calculate the mean, when you average the numbers together. So all that is you add up all these numbers and then divide them by how many numbers there are total. So we would add up 2 plus 5, which is 7, plus 6, which is 13, plus 7, which is 20. 20 plus 8 is 28. 28 plus 8 is 36. So I'm just going to write that over here to the side. 36. That's how much all these numbers are added together. But we're not done yet. We need to divide it by how many numbers there are total. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers in our data set. So to get the mean, you do 36 divided by 6. Now I wrote it like that because that's a fact we should know already. But if it's a weird number, a weird set of division problems, you can just, write it like that, like we normally would. But we're not going to do that for this because this is easy. 36 divided by 6 is 6. So we know 6 is the mean. And I wish my board was bigger so I could write that to the side. I'll write it down here for now. Mean equals 6. That way, it won't get in the way of the rest of our work. Okay, so we did that. Now we need to do the median. Now the median is the number that is literally smack dab in the middle of your number set, only when you've numbered it from least to greatest. You couldn't do it with the way I wrote them up here because they are not numbered from least to greatest. So the number smack dab in the middle, that would be whatever number would be here in between 6 and 7. But because we have an even number, to find the median, you add the two middles up together and find the mean of these two numbers. So 6 plus 7 is 13, divided by 2. See, you may not know that off the top of your head, so we got to divide that. 2 can go into 13 6 times. You divide, and you get 6.5. That's okay. Or you could write it out as 6.5 if that made your heart happier, depending on what the question's asking you. So the median is 6.5. See how the mean and median are a little bit different? That is normal. You're not going to get necessarily the same answer for all of these. It'd be weird if you did. It'd be like if all your numbers were like 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, then all your answers are going to be 8, except for this one. Mode is when you just see what number repeats the most. And just looking at this, you can see that 8 is written twice. So your mode is 8. That one's definitely the easiest one. And then last but not least, we have the range. Now that's like how big a gap it is between all your data. So you would take the biggest number and subtract it from the smallest number. That's all you do to find the range. So 8 minus 2 is going to be 6. And we just so happen to have 6s in several of our data sets. That's okay. 6 just means that there is 6 numbers in between 2 and 8. Just to give you an idea of how big the spread is. How big your spread of data. Usually when you have numbers like this, you might have them like plotted on like a line graph or a bar graph or something like that to like physically look at. But other times you'll just have these numbers, and that's what these things come in help for when you're answering like word problems and trying to figure out things like that. Okay, we're going to do one more number set, maybe 2 more. I got a lot of erasing to do here. So as you can see, this is not too shabby. It's not too hard. Let me open back up what numbers I had written. Okay. Next set of numbers, and if you feel comfortable, by all means do this with me. I've got 5, 3, 9, 7, 2, 4, 3. I kind of ran out of room in my box there. Sorry. I'm not rewriting it. Okay, 5, 3, 9, 7, 2, 4, 3. The first thing you need to do is order your numbers from least to greatest. So that's what I'm going to do. Find my smallest number and work my way up. And I cross it out as I go, so I remember that I've done them all. Got 2, 3, got another 3, 4, 5, 7, and 9. I think I'm slanting a little bit, but that's okay. All right, here are my numbers. 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9. Let's continue. We'll do each one of these 4 things and see what numbers we come up with. Remember, the mean is adding up all these numbers and then dividing by how many numbers there are total. So 2 plus 3, that's 5. 5 plus 3, that's 8. 8 plus 4, 12. 12 plus 5, 17. 17 plus 7, 24. 24 plus 9, 33. So 33, that's the number we came up with here by adding up all these together. Then you divide by how many numbers there are total. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 33 divided by 7. I don't know that fact off the top of my head because it's not a fact you'd have to know. So think. 7 could go into 33 how many times? Well, we know 7 times 5 is 35. That's going to be too big. 7 times 4 is 28. It's probably as close as we're going to get. 7 times 4 is 28. If you don't know what 33 minus 28 is off the top of your head, you can borrow and regroup. 13 minus 8 is 5. And instead of writing fraction this time, I'm going to do it in decimal form just to give you all a refresher on that. I'm going to put my decimal here because remember, there's a decimal, a secret hidden decimal at the end of every whole number. So I'll tack my decimal there and put a 0 here. And I'll keep dividing just to see what I come up with. Now 7 can go into 50. 7 times 5 is 35. 7 times 6 is 42. 7 times 7 is 49. That's as close as we're going to get. So 7 here. Subtract. I got 1. Add another 0. Let's see how far we can go. And I might have should have written smaller, but it is what it is. 7 can go into 10 just one time. Oh, good heavens. Okay, that's going to be 3. Oh no, I'm out of room. So I'll just write it. I'll write it here. I know that's terrible of me. 7 can go into 30. 4 times again. Because we did that earlier. 30 minus 28 is 2. Keep going. 7 can go into 20. 2 times, because 7 times 2 is 14. 20 minus 14 is 6. Ugh, this one's going on forever. I'm going to have to do that ugly thing I did earlier. 7 can go into 60. 7 times 6 is 42. 7 times 7 is 49. 7 times 8 is 56. 7 times 9 is 63. 7 times 8 is 56. Whew, y'all, this is taking forever, but that's okay. And 7 can go into 40. 5 times. 7 times 5 is 35. Alright, and now we're going to start repeating because we have got 50 here again, and we had a 50 here earlier. So that means this would just 7, 1, 4, 2, 8, 5 would just like continue repeating forever and ever and ever. I'm not going to mess with that though. So, oftentimes when you have repeated numbers like that, you are just going to round to the hundredths place. And if I'm just rounding to the hundredths place, I would see that's tenths, hundredths, thousandths. I look at my 4. 4 is less than 5, so all I have to do is drop it and the rest of my number stays the same. So my mean, and that division problem was mean, is 4.71. Sometimes math isn't pretty, and that's okay. That's why I stopped it before we went on for the rest of the day. Ooh, I kind of erased my number down here. There you go. Mean is 4.71. Shoo, done with that. Median, that's the number smack dab in the middle. Median is like the word medium. So think of the middle. So we just find the number that's in the middle. So I'm going to kind of make a mark by each number. Oh, my doorbell's ringing. It's going to be okay. Make a mark by each number on either side so I don't just like glance and guess. And the number I'm left with in the middle is my median. So that is going to be 4. Next, we are going to look at the mode, and that is just the number that is repeated the most in our data set. So you can just glance and see what that is. That's always going to be one of the easiest ones. That's going to be 3, because 3 is said twice. However, if we didn't have one of these 3s, every single number would just be repeated once. If that's the case, and it still asks you for mode, then you need to write either none or no or NA, something like that. Do not write 0, because 0 could be a number in here. 0 would be lion, because 0 is a number, and we don't have that in our data set. Last but not least, we need to calculate the range. Excuse me. All we need to do is subtract our big number and our small number. That's it. So the number on the far end is 9. The number on the opposite end is 2. 9 minus 2 is 7. That just tells you that there are 7 spaces, 7 possible data points you could have in between 2 and 9. And that's it, y'all. Pretty easy. Again, sorry for that giant division problem, but sometimes that's the way the world turns. If you have got any questions, feel free to comment down below. Ask one of us 5th grade teachers, in Dojo, on YouTube comments, on Facebook, wherever. And I will see y'all tomorrow on Thursday. Bye.